Today I am on chapter 2 of my supply chain advertising commercial novel. It's a series of short stories I'm doing again. That's a basic reminder of supply chain concepts that I'm talking about. This is the second half of chapter 1. I've decided to overlook a lot of the textbooks that I'm looking at currently in the school system. And I'm looking at any free ebooks I can find online. Right, so here's one book, really this really good book for starting out. Like I said, if you still have school, the school system's still around, right? I would absolutely recommend starting out with this book. I do not think the thing I have is that a lot of people or employers hire straight from the schools, right? There's a standardized curriculum, right? You're really good at stuff. It's a measure of competency, right? It's a standardization everyone agrees on. Right? Supposedly, from decades past, I haven't seen any employer actively challenge it quite yet. Because a lot of people are comfortable believing what their elderly people told them. So anyways, that's just the assumption. Not sure true or false. So anyways, I am going through some of this stuff is just wild. Anyways, chapter 2 we're going to be looking over right now. I'm thinking of putting this on Google Sites or adding a Google Sites article on the easiest one to do right now is, I hate saying that, I think it's Amazon or Walmart. Yeah, retail stores are really easy examples of supply chain operations. Did you know that if you focus on supply chain, that the easiest companies that end up being started up are like retail industries and service distributors, right? But they're basically anything food based, right? Food based or selling or a merchant marketplace, but that's the same as food. It's kind of the same category. Every other business is difficult, right? Other than transportation, right? Right? Because people need to drive. Trust me. If you don't drive, you expect people to burn their city down, right? Those are the two most businesses that are easiest to understand. And I suspect because based on how many supplies, so here's the correlation I do. The most amount of supply chain concepts around two most common companies are the business that are easiest to start. Every other business is advanced thinking, right? Because there's no aid to help you along the way, right? I'm taking into account the fact that, let's say you're crippled, right? You're mentally crippled, right? You don't have a wealthy family backing, right? When you're starting a business, right? And you don't have any venture capitalists that are biased, right? To think in a certain way. You want to start. Oh, and you want, let's say you're mentally crippled, and so you need people who are biased to think in a certain way to help you, right? Because you want to appeal to that bias. It's kind of like a peacock kind of opens his wings and it's trying to give you some pheromones, right? It's not real, right? You know what I mean? And they just fly straight forward to the male or female peacock. Yeah. So which companies would have that kind of phenomenon? That'd be retail and you use that kind of those wings, right? As because you're trying to make up for your deficiency, like in body mass or something, right? You're puffing your chest. Those would be retail and transportation. Transportation have no networks that have moved around for a while now. People might say, well, I don't want to buy a car. That's fine. Transportation is flexible, right? It could be anything from a bike to a skateboard. Right, I forgot. There's some service you can buy. It's like e-scooters, right? You can just I don't remember everything. There's e-scooters you can order, and you can just go ride on those mechanical things, right? Free of charge, and you charge people to use them. As long as you return to the original destination somewhere, it's fine, right? Yeah, e-scooters. Actually, I don't think you're allowed to. It might be too expensive. E-scooters. Whoever was the first e-scooter company made Easy Bank. Like those Uber scooters, made bank because those ones they got like cheap property prices to set up those scooters, right? Because it's suburban sprawl. It follows the concept of suburbanization sprawl, where they basically have to intrude on someone else's. You're building on top of someone else's property, right? You're using someone else's property for the most part as existing resources to build your scooter pump. Yeah, I'm serious right now. So that's what you do, and you make money because people want a scooter, right? They want to go drive around. Eventually, you'll get business. The type right now, food is easy too because people always want food to some extent. Now, whether you make money out of it, I don't know. I know you'll attract customers, right? If it's a physical store, you'll attract them. Now, whether you make profit is a different story. But you're definitely going to get customers because you have to pay rental costs, right? Yeah, that's kind of where I'm heading at. No, anyways, let's look at a couple things. I covered. So I'm gonna go look at the possibility of supply chain of we already saw Amazon. They already got into the transportation field for airplanes. I'm still waiting for the day when they go Amazon scooter mode, right? Electronic transfer for Amazon. I am not gonna. If anyone asks, I'm not gonna cover these other companies quite yet. I kind of want to. Let's start with Amazon and Walmart. Because supply chain is heavily biased on those. The other companies, I'm sure they need them. I just don't hear them as often. Right. I definitely can see a need for these companies, but it seems sketchy because the most common examples is retail and transportation. I don't blame if people are struggling to hire supply chain. I don't blame them because the most common examples are retail and transportation. It's hard to justify stuff, right? You can say, well, it's the simplest, but it's the most used. I took Coursera course on this. It's always been transportation for food. That kind of screws you out of the job market, right? For most companies. Boeing's transportation, if anyone wonders, that counts. Even if the airplane crashes. Right. SpaceX needs supply chain, right? That's transportation, right? You're flying to Mars. So let's look at one of the most important principles of supply chain. So one of the things I like to talk about is, rather than talking about retail, so why are we talking about e-scooters? Well, it's just funny. I think they do have Amazon scooters, but let's find out. I'm sure Amazon workers are working very hard to care about their. Oh, there it is. Never mind. That's not what I'm talking about. There's no Amazon brand scooters. Can't find it. Well, I'm sure corporate's working hard to produce some value. Some real value to the company. I'm very optimistic about Amazon's future here. I'm not seeing anything, but I'm optimistic anyways. Let's look on their Twitter page. All right, let's gather some information about Amazon, right? Look at that smile. That like smiling, happy face logo. Right. So information used for two purposes. You're coordinating daily activities related to the functioning of other supply chain drivers, production, inventory, location, and transportation. We're doing that right now as I do a Google search. And I'm doing some forecasting and planning to anticipate whether there's any future demands for this new venture. I think it's already established, but you know what I mean. No, I don't see anything right now. What's this? Huh, I think Kevin Logan left Twitter, guys. Huh, I don't see anything. Where the supply chain Twitter people are. I should see some airplane emojis, you guys. Huge group emojis. I don't know what anyone's using their college degree for these days. Nope. I had to keep my mouth shut. This looks like something you could do in high school. Each group of emojis symbolizes a different prime. Not a bad thing, I'm just saying. Can you guess them all? Yeah, you really could do this in high school, huh? I'm not seeing anything in supply chain. What I want to see is a jet, and I want to see some supply chain graphs, right? So retailers, inventory, location. I want to see some Alexandria story, right? I want to see something printed in first, Newsweek article, Time magazine. Right? I want to see some real work. I want to see some production, inventory. I want to see like a supply chain driver determinant graph, right? I want to see something legitimate, right? About responsiveness and accuracy. Like let's pump out some charts, right, guys? Right? Let's have maybe I'm being an ass right now. But, I'm being mean, right? Maybe the college guy is tired. I see an airplane. I'm not seeing any supply chain graphs. Oh, I guess they're watching anime right now. Not seeing anything. That would have been nice. Just get some anime girl, Photoshop a supply chain graph on her boobs or something. Something, right, guys? We said what we said. Well, I have faith in Amazon. I have so much faith in the education system. I kind of wish I could have gotten the system too. Prepare to have your mind blown. Okay, okie dokie. Yep. What is love? Baby, I feel it. Okay, I don't see anything about supply chain anywhere. I'm literally looking at this. Memory lane is just a play away. Well, I mean, I don't mind if the film guy runs it. I just don't see any supply chain people here. Do they exist? These are questions you shove as you hope you get hired as you go through the school system. You bury it in the trash bin. Yes, you do. So you do less work for more money. Yeah, you could have. This would have made for a better Twitter feed. Get people engaged. This doesn't engage people, does it? I see 1,000 retweets for one of them. But that was for like something everything trends on. I would have trended like how the trade war tariff influences Amazon's supply chain system right now, right? It's retail food, Whole Foods, right? Let's get started, you guys. Don't even have to have an opinion. Just do an objective report. I can do partisan. You choose your flavor, right? IDK. JKLO. Okay, I'm done. I am not seeing anything related to supply chain. I went on Amazon's Twitter feed. Please, Amazon, if you haven't, go invest in an electric scooter program, or at least talk down the office so I see a funny news article.